Hello and welcome to Leave the Feed 30 Days of Disconnect. I am here with Justin Leusner for day 16, Something to Believe in. Justin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. It's so good to be with you, James.
Rather than doing some canned introduction of all of your accomplishments, let's talk about like your journey as a creator and what it means to you, the spark of inspiration and the path that it's taken you down.
Yeah, it's a long story, but I'll start in January 2013. This guy right here, me, I was 10 years old and I've been watching YouTube for I think a year or two, and I was obsessed. All I wanted to do was watch YouTube videos. It was Dude Perfect, Justine, all of the OG legends on YouTube. And 10-year-old me thought, hey, I could be a YouTuber. I could do that. I like making little videos. I would do lemonade stands all the time. I'm a hustler at 10 years old. My dad always gave me entrepreneurship books. So I said, I'm going to be a YouTuber. And so I asked my mom, hey, can I make a YouTube video? And she was like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean? Let me make a YouTube video. It's not bad. And she goes, no, it's unsafe. Da 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 da. And so I had to really kind of educate her on what YouTube is, how it's not unsafe, how you could actually make money. And that was like, oh, you can make money? All right, go ahead. Just don't do anything stupid. So I said, great, thanks, mom. So I borrowed her phone, went into my basement. My friends and I, we built a custom WWE wrestling ring in our basement. We had an old mattress, four lacrosse sticks, bungee cords from our homemade gym, and some duct tape. And we called it World Duct Tape Elite Wrestling. And we did fake wrestling matches on that. We're 10 years old. We're just having fun. And so I filmed them and I posted it to YouTube. I filmed 4 videos that first day and I posted one every single day. And the third video went viral, quote unquote. It got 1,000 views overnight, which to me was wild. I didn't even
Wow.
know maybe I probably knew 100 people maximum at 10 years old. So 1,000 people was like everyone in the whole world. 1,000 people saw my video. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber. So I got hooked, and every single day I would make a video. I came home off the school bus. Every day it was the same routine, right to the basement, and I would make a video about sports, just baseball, football, soccer, playing sports, doing trick shots, playing sports, video games. And I did that for 7 years, every single day, like over, thousands of videos posted to YouTube. And so let's fast forward to 6 years into that journey, 2019, and I'm now a sophomore in high school, still obsessed with YouTube. And now my dream is I want to be a full-time YouTuber when I graduate high school. I'm not going to college. I'm just going to make YouTube videos. At this time, I'm making money off of AdSense. I'm about to hit 50,000 YouTube subscribers. I'm partnered with the NBA Playmakers program. They're inviting me out to games, and we have this NBA Live mobile coin dealership paying us thousands of dollars every month to promote their product. YouTube AdSense is paying us. Everything's going great. January 2020 rolls around. I'm now a junior in high school. This is 7 years into the daily content journey. And my views started to kind of go down a little bit. At my peak, I would average maybe 10, 20,000 views every day on my new long form video. Views started going down a little bit, 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, 2,000. Why, you might ask? Fortnite. Fortnite was blowing up. It was taking the market share. My channel was built around sports video games, and people were starting to really stop playing them. They were just dying. They were getting boring after 5, 6 years of, my generation. Also, just growing up, and Fortnite's now the new thing. People want to fit in, play Fortnite. It's cool. It's a shooter game. Go do it. Honestly, that was me too. I was hooked on Fortnite, and the games I was playing, I was just kind of doing it to post every day. And so March 2020 rolls around, and I stopped posting videos. I gave up. I couldn't bear with the thought of like my channel dying, so I kind of preemptively quit as it was on the way down. And I was also really obsessed with Fortnite too, personally, and so I just didn't want to play that sports video game anymore. And so obviously the pandemic hits, April 2020 rolls around. I'm now a junior in high school. I got to take the SAT, ACT. I got to go to college, and I was crushed. I hated this. I didn't want to be a normal kid. I worked so hard those 7 years posting a video every day so that I could be a YouTuber when I finally graduated college or high school, and I could be free and I don't have to get a corporate job, don't have to go to classes anymore. I just could move out to LA from New Jersey and make YouTube videos. Summer 2020 rolls around and I'm so depressed. Obviously, COVID's existing and, this isolation. I can't see my friends. I'm really going through it because now I have to be a normal person and I can't be a YouTuber anymore. And it was a shock too. Every day for 7 years, I would post a video. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know life without that, right? Almost half of my life at this point was making YouTube videos. So 2020 summer rolls around and I'm so depressed that I like really honestly didn't want to exist anymore. I was pretty frustrated with how my life turned out. I had such high hopes. I thought I would have 1 million YouTube subscribers when I graduated high school, and here I am with a dead YouTube channel, and I quit and I stopped posting, and I'm now looking and touring colleges, and I never thought I would have to do that, and I hated school, hated the idea of doing 4 more years of school. And so I was pretty down bad. And like I said, I didn't really want to exist anymore. So, thought about maybe, ending my life or just kind of, checking out and just doing whatever. And that was a pivotal moment for me. So July 2020 was kind of the buildup of all of this, and I was so desperate that I was looking anywhere for answers. One of the things I was like, I'll just try it, right? I went on Amazon and bought a Bible, and I'm like, I'll just try it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? People talk about like this Jesus guy, and he's great, and maybe he could heal me from this depression and anxiety. And so I bought a Bible on Amazon. Oop, right here, I think is the one that I bought. And this was July 2020. I literally was like, okay, here. I just like picked a random page and started reading it. And I stayed up till 4 a.m. the first night just reading it, like super intrigued. And that led me to like reading about Jesus and learning about that. I pretty much grew up like atheist. I went to Catholic mass maybe for church, but like church on Sunday for Easter or Christmas, but that was it. Um, and I learned about this Jesus guy and I was like, dude, this kind of makes sense, you know, uh, and it's like it seems like he's speaking to me a little bit. Like this Jesus guy that apparently lived 2,000 years ago, I don't know if he's made up or not. He like kind of understands what I'm going through. And there's Bible verses about depression and anxiety and longing for more and love and all these thoughts that I never really thought about. And it said like, all you have to do is believe in me and you will be saved and freed from all this depression and whatnot. So I was like, Jesus, God, like I believe in you. Like I actually think you could heal me from this. At this point, I'm desperate for anything. And I just asked, I said, Jesus, could you please like just change my heart? I hate how my heart is. I hate how my brain is. I hate how I think. I hate how much my heart aches. Please just change it. And that was July 29th, 2020. The next morning I woke up, honestly kind of forgot about that prayer. But everything felt different. Even as simple things as my music taste changed. I've been making a monthly Spotify playlist ever since 2016, and July 2020 was like, a ton of hip hop, rap music. I just had a whole new music taste. I like wanted nothing to do with that. I wanted nothing to do with the things I was addicted to, whether that's porn or alcohol or girls. Like I wanted nothing to do with that. And I was like, I just want to read the Bible more. And that's what I did. And so that was the day where I like surrendered, quote unquote, like who I was, and like I asked God to heal me from that anxiety and whatnot. And I had a new brain that next day. And I also had a new heart to make YouTube videos again. I was like, I want to make YouTube videos again. That's my dream. But this time I want to do it as an act of service and love to others because that's what Jesus would have done. And so I want to make content as a gift to my audience. And so that's when I started to enter back into the YouTube world. And we could talk more about what that's looked like over the past 5 years. But I feel like that's a good place to put a pause in the story and chat more and, reflect on that.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's so interesting that you went through this period of, it seems like, creation for yourself, like just
Mm,
fun creation, no boundaries, putting out content, having fun with sports. I mean, what all kids are doing, right? They're all having fun, they're all playing, and if they can capture it and monetize it, it's incredible. But then to go through this huge cataclysmic shift in what's happening and the exterior environment and what's happening in the social media landscape. Everyone's playing Fortnite. It's like everything sort of crumbles to the ground, and you're like, what was all this for? What was it for? Um, and then it's unique to go through that type of depression because in the world of creation and as being a creator, you know, you have to have a reason and existence for what you create and an audience you're trying to reach. And it seems like this moment of change, this um, of biblical essence, like touched you and then reawakened like a different type of creator. And you mentioned like you were creating for other people and you wanted to bring creation to other people. How do you see the difference in what that first generation of creation was like versus the generation of creation that your essence is expressing now?
Good question, James. Yeah, for the first 7 years, it was all about two things. Number one, how do I make the most money possible? Because I want to be a full-time YouTuber and I need to make money. And I want to be rich and famous. And so I need money. And number two, it was all about me. How do I make sure I look good? How do I make sure people fall in love with me? How do I make sure I'm famous? I'm the star of the show, right? And then in 2020, that shifted completely on its head. And so now my heart is, hey, money is a means to an end. Money is a way to just like literally, all I people probably would be shocked at how much money I pay myself in our company. It's literally like groceries, rent, which is super cheap because I live in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania, um, taxes, and that's it. It's like bare minimum because I just want to be able to do YouTube. And with all the other money we have, we can invest it back into our team, nonprofits and whatnot. And then the other thing that was flipped on its head was now the content is all about the audience. Or it's about the creators that we are spotlighting in our content. So it's all others focused. So previously it was self-focused, and now it's, hey, how can we love and serve others through social media?
Obviously, Leave the Feed is about disconnecting to reconnect with essential aspects of life. I think earlier in this process as a creator, you're in it for the fame, right? Which is the counter to what Jesus would be asking you to do. But, when you're in that type of creation and that type of mode, did you understand how it was impacting your mental health? Or reflecting on it now, can you see how it was triggering or maybe leading you down this road where this moment of anxiety and depression was inevitably going to hit? Could you see the signs at all, like looking back?
No, I could not see the signs. I was totally blind to it. But looking back now, oh, what a good question. Looking back now, I could sense that there was just a bondage that I had to post a video every day. Almost like I was a slave to my own YouTube channel and my own dream. I was not creating out of freedom. It was, I have to do this specific game, even though I don't really play it, even though I don't really like it. This is 3, 4, 5 years in,
Right.
and it has to be one-upping my competitors no matter what it costs. So I would spend money on the game, thousands and thousands of dollars, so that I could break the record for the highest Madden mobile coin shopping spree video by 5 million coins, which is like $500, like petty. And it would be me and this one other creator, and we would just like one up each other. And we both hated the game. We would complain about it all the time, but we were in bondage to it. We even ended up making like diss tracks against each other, like 15-year-old kids, like just so stupid. I made a diss track against EA Sports because I hated the game so much, yet I kept playing it every single day. So I was absolutely creating out of this bondage that I have to make a video every day. It has to be this specific way. There was no freedom.
Now, talk about where you are today and how do you maintain that balance of creation and disconnection and making sure that you keep your mental health in check, especially as you've gotten more and more success?
Such a good question. Yeah, this is, I don't know if I've ever said this online or on a podcast or whatnot. I say it all the time in state college when I'm talking in classes or whatnot. But I don't have Instagram on my phone. I don't have TikTok on my phone. And YouTube and LinkedIn are the only two platforms I have on my phone that I allow myself to use, and that's because I know that I can't really get doom scrolled on either of those. Although LinkedIn algorithm is getting better, and it's getting scary where I'm like, oh shoot, did I just doom scroll on LinkedIn? Maybe. But yeah, so I don't have YouTube, or sorry, I don't have Instagram or TikTok. We hired an assistant to post content for us on those platforms. And in our content, we essentially, our vision is to make sports videos short form, have people join our live streams, and on the live streams, like I literally say that I'm like, hey, like I'm streaming on my computer, like I don't even have TikTok. Like if you guys are sick and tired of doom scrolling, like go play outside. You don't, go log off this video right now. You don't have to watch this. Like I would actually prefer if you go outside and played soccer right now, or hung out with your dad or whatever. Um, so yeah, it's interesting now because, I'm still creating. This is year 12, almost 13 of creating a video every single day. But now it's out of this freedom of like, hey, I just want to see other people be freed from this addiction to social media. And it's cool to see our viewers and even our friends in State College be like, yeah, you inspired me to delete Instagram or TikTok. And I've just been able to get so much more done, or hang out or spend time outside, hang out with my roommates, meal prep, exercise, go for a walk. And I'm like, yes, let's go.
That's awesome. That is incredible. Yeah, to find that balance is really unique, and it's something that's different for all of us, but no one wants to be in a world of incessant scrolling. And I think far too often we don't realize how habitual actions come, whether we're waiting for a bus, in an elevator, and all of these moments of scrolling catch up with us, right? And we get into comparisons and we start to get sucked into an alternate reality when a lot of what we need to do is to stay more tethered to our belief systems. And that's what today's all about, is making sure that one, you have a belief system, whether it's Jesus, another deity, or some other spiritual leader, or something that you make up for yourself. And two, that, you practice it. And it's so important that we take time to practice and not just preach to people, but sort of live the word that we want to go by. So, as you've progressed, even with your own spiritual belief systems, how have you stayed tethered, and when do you become tested in your beliefs?
Oof, that's a good question. Yeah, I'd say almost every hour of every day, there's a mini test, sometimes bigger tests, but most of the times mini tests, um, where I have a simple choice to make. I can either spend time that I'm supposed to be working watching a YouTube video, or I could read a book, or I could respond to a few emails, or I could FaceTime my fiance or call my mom. I feel like every hour there's like a mini decision where I can choose the one I know I probably should do, or choose the easy route, which is like, oh, I could choose the easy thing. Um, and so, yeah, it's a constant daily, every hour there's a test. Even before this podcast, I had 15 minutes, and I could have watched YouTube video, or been like, let me play a quick game of, I don't even know what, I don't play games, but like, oh, play Flappy Golf or whatever. But instead I was like, my friend Rob and Danny are here in the room next to me. I was like, yo, how are you guys doing? Just like talking to them, because that would be just to, get fired up before the podcast, but also like, instead of just being in isolation, playing a quick game or watching a video, go connect with them and just see how they're doing today. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely making sure that throughout the day, there's so many distractions, there's so many things that are trying to creep into our consciousness, right? And a lot of those things can have ill effects without even realizing it. Like, we're not aware of the ill effects, and they compound over time. And next thing you know, we're a shell of who we used to be, and we don't have those connections, and people aren't reaching out to us the way that we need as humans, those real, authentic moments, that we
Yeah,
cherish.
absolutely. Yeah, I think that's something my generation, Generation Z, and even Gen Alpha, the one below me, in terms of age, the one younger, I think we're all missing that, but we don't really know that. We just think maybe something in our brain chemistry is off. And perhaps it is, but I'm sure there's many out there that they just need to disconnect for a little bit and enter nature, or hang out with their family, or hang out with their friends. And I think that would solve a lot of the world's mental problems, honestly. Not all of them, but I think it would solve a good amount.
So let's talk about those that are taking this 30-day challenge, or others that are just looking for some inspiration to disconnect. I know you've given us a lot of great nuggets so far, but what hope do you have for those that need to scroll less and appreciate more? And what are some tips and tricks that you do just to make sure that you stay ever aware of your habits?
Great question. Yeah, so me not having Instagram or TikTok wasn't always like this. 2 years ago, I was obsessed. My screen time was horrible, and it got in the way of doing what I actually wanted to do, which was create content, hang out with friends, post on LinkedIn. And so my Kenzie, who's now my fiance, she was my girlfriend at the time. We were like, hey, let's do a 30-day social media fast together, May 1st to May 30th. Let's both delete Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, everything, even like Gmail and the ESPN app because we caught ourselves like fidgeting and just clicking on that and like scrolling. And it's like, wow, it's kind of crazy how we need to scroll. So we go on Gmail or ESPN, which is like not really scrollable, but we still find a way to get our fix in. So we would just delete those. And what a 30 days that was. We both were so much happier. We both got we like track our steps. We got so many more steps. We were outside, we were getting tan, eating good food. It was such a good month. And then June 1st comes around and it's like, oh, we're back. And then we downloaded Instagram and TikTok again, and we're like, June 15th, we're like, wait, no, this sucks. Like, why do we even want to do that? And so that was the moment where we're like, nah, let's just delete Instagram and TikTok for good, because those were the ones really that we felt like a slave to almost, where we had to check it every single day. And so my tip and trick as a social media creator, as someone who still wants to engage with the digital world, I just use it on my laptop, Instagram and TikTok. I don't even use TikTok on my laptop, but Instagram I do, as a way to stay connected. I, check DMs, respond to DMs, but I've never like brain rotted, doom scrolled on my laptop. It's so hard to do that. And most of the time I'm like 3 minutes into using Instagram, I'm like, I don't even like, I just, let's just text, or here's my email. And I would prefer to be off platform. Because we get 10, 20, 30 DMs every day from our connections, our community, our fans. So like we kind of have to be on that platform. But that's my tip and trick, is like, use it on your laptop. It is so less addicting.
Thank you so much. You've been such an awesome guest. Any other words of wisdom or what's next for Justin?
Yeah, if you're watching this podcast, listening to this right now, and this is intriguing to you, this idea of, hey, I don't want to be a slave, quote unquote, to the social media system, algorithms, platforms, um, keep keep diving into that. Don't stop here. Listen to the other podcasts, episodes on this podcast. Read the Leave the Feed book. Do your own research. Like, find out what about this intrigues you, and dig in, dive in. This will I believe that this movement of disconnecting from social media, especially amongst Gen Z, will continue to grow. And if you can be one of the first to join that mission, you're going to be a leader that others look up to. Your friends are going to look up to and respect you even more. I've never had someone not respect me more for the fact that I deleted social media. Everyone is always like, "Oh wow, I respect that. In fact, I should do that." So if this inspires you, keep digging in. Don't stop here. Keep going.
Wise words from a wise human. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to this channel, leave a review, share it, leave the feed with a friend, and don't be afraid to disconnect. Thank you so much, Justin. Really appreciate you.
Thank you, James. Let's go.